They call them sea puzzles. These little solvable things that the sea throws up. It's a sequence of knots. There's something really quite therapeutic about it. I think it's important, especially on days like today, to get out there and find something solvable. It makes your skin really coarse with salt. It's a lovely feeling. Reminds me of my childhood. This one is particularly hard, actually. It's this knot in the end, maybe if I do that. It's an interesting beach, this. So dotted in the cove are these giant rock structures, and you'd be forgiven for thinking that they were huge rock stacks from a distance. But if you get up close, you can see that they're actually man-made. They are walls. And the story goes that in Victorian times there was this industrious German man that came and wanted to build a large town here to rival some of the best resorts on the island, and attract people who were coming down here to take the clean air and jump in the sea and do cold water swimming and all of them things. And he chose here, he chose St. Lawrence. And he bought the biggest house that he could, he bought all of the land around it, and he set to work planning this new town. And work was well underway. He planted trees, he laid roads, and down here in this little now secluded bay was meant to be the entrance to it. It was going to be a seaport with a promenade and a sea wall, so that people visiting could come in via the sea. But what he didn't take into account was the importance of the landscape that he was working with. All of the foundations for these sea walls were built on top of clay that was part of an active landslip, and still is. And over time cracks started to form in the walls. It started to get damaged and they couldn't repair it as they were going along. And then over the winter, some particularly bad winters, the sea finished the rest of the job and smashed it all to pieces. So now this set of rock stacks down here is known as Spindler's Folly. And it's a monument to human hubris. Now, if we don't take account of the bigger things than ourselves that we're working with, that it will always end in failure. But I also think it's quite an important illustrative object. That even with the best will in the world, with all the energy, all the time, all the money, some things won't work out in life. No matter how much you want them to. And it's important to have an artifact of that. And that's why I come down here sometimes. But I'm sure that we've all got those things, whether they're projects that are tucked away in drawers, unfinished videos on my part, photos in photo albums, these things that are left unfinished and probably always will be, and that's okay. But to keep the artifacts of them, to remind ourselves that it's okay, I think is an important thing. And this is just that on a monumental scale. Anyway, this sea puzzle has almost beaten me. This knot at the end is almost impossible. So I guess I'm going to have to leave it. Beautiful time to be out though.